So what better way to start than to just go from the inside out? So we're in my kitchen, and I do put this in my kitchen because I feel like if I was to put it in our basement or outside, I probably wouldn't check on it as much or water it as much as I do as it's in here. Also, the kids really like to help me with this. They like to water the seedlings and stuff and just see everything sprout up. So it's an exciting process. I got this little greenhouse a few years ago off of Amazon. It is so easy to put together. There are no tools required at all, so that's good. I don't know if I told you all or not, but my husband is actually a lineman. So a few years ago, he was still working a lot on the road, and so I knew if I was gonna get something like this, I needed to be able to pop it together myself. And so that's why I got this one, because it didn't involve a lot of strenuous activity and tools. So it's very lightweight too, so if you need to move it around, it's super light. So it comes with this little greenhouse cover, and honestly the only reason I have this on inside of my house is because I don't want my cat to jump up there and get into this, and he will. So I have it zipped up in here, but it also does help trap in moisture and humidity, which will help your seeds sprout. This is 4 shelves right here, and I'm only using the bottom 2 right now. I do have 2, 4, 6 grow lights, and I have 2 on every shelf, and then I have 2 heat mats. So honestly, I wasn't all that interested in starting vegetables a few years ago. My husband grew the garden, and he would just go to the greenhouse and buy vegetables, or he was starting his own seeds. I actually bought this to start flowers in because I was really interested in starting my own flowers, just annual flowers, because I love to grow I love to plant annual flowers every year. And I thought, well, why don't I just try to learn to start those seeds myself? So I got this for that purpose. But over the last few years, I really enjoyed starting vegetables because I like to, I've just learned, like, as far as, like I said, I'm getting interested in canning and fermenting and freezing and just growing our own food. So I've really gotten bit by that bug, and so it's kind of, I'm more excited about learning that than I was about doing the flowers a few years ago. I will still start my own flower seeds, but it's not like my top priority right now. So like I said, I've got those 2 heat mats. So basically what I do is I have saved every little plastic container. I feel like, well, Dave has saved every little plastic container. I think he's learned along the way that you never know when you could use something. So anyways, I'm using these trays, which just came from my kitchen, and we don't use them anymore. So these metal trays are what I'm using, and I have saved all these little plastic containers that we probably got from a greenhouse or something. So what I did this year, which I feel like worked really well as far as keeping everything organized, was I got my seed starting mix, which is just this Jiffy seed starting mix, and then I cut the top off of it and I filled it with water and moistened my seed starting mix. You don't want it to be saturated, you just want it to be damp, if that makes any sense. So this is the seed starting mix I've always used. It's worked great for me. If you are recycling these containers, you do want to wash them. So I just put them in my sink with some Dawn dish soap, and I soaked them and washed them, just so you don't get any weird things growing in there. So like I said, I got my seed starting mix moist and wet in a big bowl, and then I packed my containers, packed each of them. And then I went through my seeds. I decided how much of each plant that I wanted to grow. And I looked it up online as far as their suggestion for the amount of people that you have living in your home and that you're going to be cooking for, as far as how many plants to plant in your garden. Just because I don't want to plant too much or too little. And I know that it's going to take several years of just kind of learning what we use more of or less of, or, you know, it's going to be a process. So I'm just going to try to take good notes and learn from that. But this year I decided to start some cabbage because, like I said, my sweet neighbor taught me how to make sauerkraut, and what started with that was she gave me some of her sauerkraut, and I think I ate the whole thing by myself. And like, I put it in chili or pinto beans or whatever soup that we have. And if y'all don't know, sauerkraut is really good for your gut. Very, very good for your gut health. It is fermented, so So anything like that has all those probiotics in it, and it's really good for you. So that's what I'm excited about making some this year. So in this tray, I have some broccoli, I've got golden acre cabbage, I've got some cucumber, and then I've got her cabbages that I started for her. None of those have sprouted yet, but I'm going to be very patient. I just started this on Monday. So what you want to do if you're going to do seeds and start seeds indoors with vegetables and you're going to grow a vegetable garden is you would really like to try to find your zone, so your growing zone, and you can type that into like the Farmer's Almanac website, and you can put your zip code in. It'll give you a zone. It'll give you a last frost date, and it'll even give you a chart of like when to plant certain vegetables, so that it's very, very useful. But our zone said that the last frost date would be like April 8th, and honestly I didn't go by that, because in previous years here where we live, the weather is so crazy. It could be that the last frost was April 8th, or it could be that the last frost wasn't until like May 1st. So a lot of people, I feel like here, don't really plant a lot out in their garden until the end of April or like the first weekend of May. It just seems like that's what a lot of other people do. And I'm going to go by experience, experienced gardeners. So I do have some cucumbers sprouting. Like I said, I planted these on Monday, and today's Wednesday, so that's only 3 days. So I've got some cucumbers sprouting. I've got some golden acre cabbage sprouting and some broccoli sprouting. So I'll do like a zoomed in thing of this so that y'all can actually see. I think I planted like 2 or 3 seeds in each pod, and I've got like some coming up, so I'm going to have to pull out. I just want 1 plant in each pod. So the heat mats work really well for bringing up the temperature of your soil and just allowing it to be the perfect environment for the seeds to sprout. As far as your grow lights go, my husband put these on chains for me, which is really helpful, because once your seeds sprout, you want your light to be pretty low as it'll go, to your seed tray. And that's just so that your seeds don't get real leggy. You want the light to be closer to the plant so that the roots really get strong inside of their little pod. And they don't grow tall and kind of not very strong. So anyways, that's why the grow lights are down so far. As the plant grows taller, I'll move my grow lights up. When you first start to sprout seeds, what I do and what I've read about is that you keep the lights on and the heat mat on 24 hours a day until your seeds sprout. Once they've sprouted, like with my broccolis, I've got about all of my broccolis have sprouted. So basically, I don't want to leave the light on the whole entire day. I don't want to leave it on 24 hours a day. I want to leave it on 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And that's just so that you don't burn up your plant, because you will burn it up if you leave the light on that long. You want it to be like a typical day. So, like I said, I explained what I'm growing in that tray. And then down here in this bottom tray, I don't believe I have anything sprouted yet. I'm not seeing anything sprouted yet, which that's okay, because each vegetable takes different amounts of time. You can look it up. I wrote it all down, but like they can take anywhere from 17 to 21 days to actually germinate and sprout. So this is some basil. I do see a tiny little basil leaf. Yay! I see a little basil leaf, so that's good. This is my little herb pod. So I've got basil, oregano, parsley, and cilantro in this. And then I've got some Roma tomatoes. Roma tomatoes are something that I want to grow a lot of this year, because you can make salsa, tomato sauce. You can just do so much. They're very versatile when it comes to canning. They're really great for canning. You can can whole tomatoes. So that's really great. I've got some green tomatoes, because we're from the South and everybody likes the fried green tomato here and there. And then I've got some beefsteak tomatoes. The beefsteak tomatoes are great for slicing and eating on a sandwich. And my dad has grown some amazing beefsteak tomatoes, and he's given me some every year, and I put them on everything in the summertime. It's one of my favorite tomatoes. So then I've got some hot pepper, sweet pepper, and jalapeno pepper. We do a lot with peppers. I'll probably start even more peppers. I think I've only got 4 jalapenos started. So my husband ferments the jalapenos, and those are phenomenal. The way that they're fermented, they stay hard and crunchy, so they're not soft. It's really crazy how it works that way. But I put those fermented jalapenos in our homemade salsa and chili and whatever you want to make a little spicy. Once again, with the fermented jalapenos, those are really good for your gut. Probiotics, anything like that that you can get in to your diet is really good for you. So that is our little greenhouse explained. So pretty much once I get everything grown and it gets to a certain size, which I'll come back and recap and do a video on that, but I'll transplant everything to a bigger container and just let its roots grow a little bit more and get a little stronger. And then I will take all of the plants out onto my patio, which is shaded, it's covered, so it won't be in direct sunlight, but it'll be out in kind of the elements, and so it'll get some wind and stuff. And that's really called, it's like a hardening off process, because the plants obviously inside don't get any wind, they don't get any of those natural elements that they're gonna have whenever they're moved outside into the garden. So I'll move them out onto the patio and harden them off and allow them to go through that process for several days. And then after that, then they'll be ready to move into the garden. So that is the process as far as seed starting goes and how we use this to start our seeds. So we'll move on to the next thing. Okay guys, so the first stop will be our little goats. This is Betty and Leroy, Lucy, and Wrangler. These are our 4 goats that we got from my mom. So we've had them for a little bit less than a year now. And they're sweet. Several of them are really used to being handled and petted, and so they're pretty friendly. They like to get loved on and petted on and everything. And so they've done a good job at just keeping everything ate down over here, just the vegetation and the undergrowth and everything. Dave worked to kind of clear this out, but he didn't want it all to grow back. So they've done a really great job of keeping it all cleared. Because potentially throughout the coming years, we would like to get in here and just kind of clear stuff out and have some grass and pasture like we've talked about before. So these are our goats currently, and we are looking to add a few milk goats to our flock. These goats have a fence that's able to be moved, so we can move them around to different areas. It's a really big area actually. I'll kind of pan around so you can see it, but it can be moved, and so that's great. A great way for us to kind of use them to clear the land and to keep it all under control. Be nice to each other. So this is their little shelter that Dave kind of threw together. I know it's nothing fancy, but sometimes in farm life it's just not fancy. You just kind of use what you have, but it's got plenty of straw and everything in there, and it's a nice covering. It keeps them dry and warm, so they like it. They've done well with it. We've had them over the winter, so we didn't have any issues out of it. So I will pan around and show you guys just kind of what the fence looks like, and if you can kind of see the white. I don't know if you can see it through the trees, but it's there, and it really goes back. Even here's this big pile of brush, and it even goes all the way back through there. So this big brush pile, I just had a holler for them because they were hiding back there behind it. They like to climb up that and play around and just do goat things. Dave got this really nice feeder over here back in the fall. It's done really well as far as just saving on the cost of hay and stuff, because those big round bales are a lot cheaper than a lot of the smaller square bales. And he got that feeder from a farm show, and so I can't remember the name of the business or anything, but that's been great for them. They love it. That little feeder that you see right here, they just knocked that over a lot. So it wasn't really that great. It's still in there though. Say hi. Well, you guys can kind of sort of see where it's been cleared out, and there's more of a trail here. He's done a lot of tractor work over here with the land rake and everything, clearing it out. And we did have a side-by-side that we would ride through the woods a lot. We don't actually have that anymore. We sold that and invested in a dump trailer. for a lot of this wood, I'm getting ready to show you that we really needed a dump trailer, so that's what we went with. I'm going to kind of show you all the parts of the property that he's really worked on clearing, and what we're going to use it for, and how we're going to turn it into pasture. So just kind of stay with me as we go through here. Okay, so behind me you can see we have about 4 or 5 peach trees. Like I said, our lady that we bought the property from, she actually just threw some peach scraps out, and that's where we believe that these peach trees came from. We've lived here for 3 years and we haven't had any peaches off of them yet, but my husband did prune them back this year, so we're hoping that maybe we get some peaches. And so they're right here, and as we go towards this way, we've got a lot of firewood kind of stacked up, and some more brush piles and things as we've been working on clearing this entire area. Like I said, it's probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 acres now that we have cleared, and it's just a long process, and so we're just trying to be patient with it. But one good thing out of this is we've got lots of cedar posts for fencing, and we've got a lot of firewood stacked, and we plan on investing in a wood stove to put in our basement this winter, so that we can really cut down on our electric bill and everything, and just the cost of heating our home. So that's one of the reasons we have all that firewood, and we're going to put it to good use. If we don't use all of it, we'll sell some. Just one more way to make a little bit of extra money from the farm. The area might be a little bit hard to see. The sun's kind of shining. But last year we used this area as a small garden. We had a bigger garden in where our chickens were, obviously. What kind of happened was we started our garden, and before my husband did some of the fencing, and he actually ended up fencing in the whole garden area, and that kind of turned into our chicken pasture. So our whole garden area kind of got threw off last season, and it also came a pretty bad hailstorm here, which destroyed a lot of our vegetables and stuff. But we were able to grow some peppers and things in this smaller garden, and cucumbers and stuff like that. And we also did our flowers in this garden, so we did our little wildflower area here, and then in the far back of this little garden area, we've got several strawberry plants planted there. And so Dave's plan this season is to just go and probably turn this entire bed into a bigger strawberry patch, and just have all strawberries. So we've done really well with strawberry plants. They've always produced for us and everything, so I think the more the merrier with those. And also we've got some raspberry trellis up right there, and then he planted some nut trees here. So those will take several years to produce anything, but like I said, it's an investment in the property into the future. So just little things like that we can do to kind of make our land more productive is our goal. I just wanted to kind of show you all a little close-up of what our strawberry plants look like right now. They're not looking too great. They're fine, actually. It's just this time of year. Right now it is March, and so they're green. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see. And the thing with strawberry plants is they'll produce a lot of runners, which will just make more strawberry plants. So basically what you want to do is you want to cut your runners, or keep your runners from really going, because otherwise that'll keep your strawberry plant from producing very many strawberries, and you obviously want to get as much of a yield from your strawberry plant as you can. So we're just probably gonna buy some and plant some in here, and just kind of try to keep them under control so they don't go too crazy. That way we can actually get a good yield of strawberries. And I'm gonna just kind of get a little closer so y'all can see what they look like right now. Here's our little strawberry plant. She's happy. He's done mulched these up. Here's a bigger one. You can kind of see what they look like, but he's mulched them all up and made them all nice and warm and happy, and it'll be ready for us to plant some more as we go. And here's that raspberry plant that he planted. I think it was last year, so you can kind of see that is really starting to go kind of crazy over here. It's kind of doing that thing, but he's gonna read up on how to really cut it back and make it better so that maybe we can get some raspberries off of it. Alright, well you can kind of sort of see up this hill a little bit. It's a kind of a gradual incline up this hill, but a lot of these big logs actually came from the back of the property because he's replacing the fence all along that line. What happened was this whole property was fenced on the outside, but the lady that lived here was elderly and her husband had passed away, so the fence line really hadn't been kept up. So kind of whenever you you go to try to work on it, you just got to do a lot of clearing and a lot of moving stuff and cutting stuff down and clearing out the fence line. And so they're actually replacing that fence line. That's a big project that Dave has on his list to do this spring and summer. So that's where all of the big logs came from. Like I said, we'll make good use of them with firewood and everything. And I'll just kind of pan up through here. Like I said, he's cleared all of this. What he did over the winter was the fall really, he piled everything up, had cut everything down, piled it up into big brush piles, and then over the winter it came a pretty good snow, and he took that opportunity to burn those brush piles. So it really helped open this up here, and like I said, the goal is to just create more pasture for more farm animals. And so as we pan back this direction, you can see that's our garage, and then we'll pan over here and that's our chicken coop, and we'll walk down that area and I'll kind of show you all what it looks like down there. Okay, the funny thing with chickens, if you have them, you know that wherever I go, they're gonna go. So I'm standing outside of the pen just so they don't knock into the camera or anything, but this entire area is the chicken pen. Like I said, we have 40 chickens, and I would tell you the varieties, but I don't know all the varieties that we have. I do know that we have some Easter eggers, which are really, they are the colorful egg layers, like the blues and the greens, and some barred rocks, I think. My husband is the one that knows all of the chicken name breeds, but here they are, and we keep them. This might be an acre fenced in right here, and this is a new fence, so he did all of this himself. I'll kind of pan around and show you all. So this just houses the chickens. These are our 2 chicken tractors that we use whenever we get our meat chickens in. These are what we move around our yard just every single day to allow the meat chickens to eat plenty of bugs and to just get a good nutritional diet and everything. So we'll go into this fence area and I'll show you the beehive, and then I'll also show you the sawmill area, and just kind of let you all see that. This is the chicken tractor that I was telling you about right here. Right now he's just using it as a little shelter, sort of. He's hanging some of their food up in there. This is the other chicken tractor, and you can just see how big this area is. Like I said, this fence goes all the way down to the edge, all the way over, and then back up this side. And we'll walk down there, but this is their chicken coop. Once again, it's not anything pretty. Just kind of using what we have, which, I mean, you know, sometimes that's just the way that it is. And here is the fence that he did with all of the cedar posts. So he's really built a nice fence here. And whenever we do get our milk goat, we are considering putting her in here with the chickens and just letting her eat, because this whole area is kind of hard to mow and maintain. So the goat will just sort of help eat down the grass and keep it a little bit easier on Dave, not having to mow and maintain all of it. Over here in this back corner, I'll walk y'all over there, and we have the beehives. I'll show you all that. Okay, so here is the back of the chicken coop, and then I know it's kind of funny because there's like a fenced-in area inside of a fenced-in area, but that fence was already there. He put that up when we first moved in because we really needed a place for our chickens. And we wanted a big area for them to be able to forage around and get to the bugs and stuff. So that was kind of already there, but it just adds an extra layer of protection from any predators that might try to get to them at night. So it's fine the way that it is. We're going to pan this way. Down here where you see kind of this brush pile, that's just part of what he's cleared. This whole area was also wooded. Everything behind the garage, like I said, you couldn't even see back behind this garage. This was all wooded and overgrown. And then you've got the sawmill down this area, and he does a lot of
he mills a lot of the wood that we use for different projects. He's built shelves and everything like that, and he likes to do that. So that's kind of a good thing to have whenever you're doing a lot of fencing and building a lot of different structures. And then over this area is the Bee Hive, and he just started that last spring. So like I said, we've got 2, and he caught 1 hive and bought 1 hive. I don't know how well that they've done over the winter. They have a hard time, but we're hoping that maybe they're all right. Come springtime, we're hoping they come back out. And we're definitely going to plant a bunch of flowers for them, and hopefully they get some food from that. So I'm just going to pan back this way, kind of show you all from this area what the property looks like. And you can see the tree line, the trees up here. Like, it's basically what this whole back area looked like, and behind me. And now this is really turned into pasture. Another big area of brush right there, piled up stumps and stuff just from where he's cleared. And so it's been a long process, but we're getting there slowly and surely. Okay, so basically this area is where we have our blueberry bushes, our apple trees, and our blackberry bush, and we've just kind of scattered the apple trees down on here, and then planted the blueberry bushes along this driveway. And then in the back is where we did some of our grapevines, but I'm not so sure that those are doing too hot this year. I'll take you a little closer and kind of show you what the plants look like right now, because it's spring and they're just starting to kind of bud out, and so it's a little exciting to see what they look like. This is a little blueberry bush. It's funny because the actual name of it is Big A Blueberry. I don't know why it's called that, but that's the name of it. So you can see it's got some little buds on there. I'll walk you over here to the other plants and show you guys what those are looking like. Here is a thornless blackberry. This thing has grown a ton. I don't know if you can see. It's got the green. It's got the green on it. It is coming back to life, so that's great. It's gonna be big. It's already like hanging over here. So he's saying he needs to run a T-post. Oh, he's not. He's gonna run and hide. But yeah, it's grown a lot. And then I'm gonna walk you over here to the apple trees. I don't want to make you sick, but here's the first one. This is a Honeycrisp. Yellow, sorry. This is a Yellow Delicious. I'm not seeing anything on it yet. I mean, I see maybe some little buds. Maybe. Let's walk over here. This one definitely has some. This is a Honeycrisp, and you can definitely see it's got some little things on it. My uncle actually grew these apple trees from seeds, and he gave these to us. So these are just some apple trees that he grew. So it's pretty funny. They've done well for us so far. I mean, they're growing. Here's another apple tree, and I honestly don't know what these are. I guess we'll just wait and find out. And then my sweet husband bought me a bag of bulbs and planted them around this, I believe it's a cherry tree. And this tree is not doing anything. I guess it'll take a few more weeks. I hope it's okay, because this is my favorite tree. But all these bulbs are really pretty, and I'm loving them right now. They're just, it's like a first little sight of spring. So over here you can see this is on this side of the garage, and you can see the chickens. This is the chicken area, if it won't focus on my hand, back through here. And then you just kind of go down. It goes all the way down, so to this kind of corner. So this whole area, and then the sawmills here. So, but this whole area the chickens have. So they have plenty of area to feed. We'll go get a close-up of them. They're cute. Every time they see me, they always come running. They're like, Mama, do you have any food? You gonna feed me some scraps? But they forage around in here and find stuff to eat. In this area, you can see, this was where our garden was, I was telling you about. So obviously we can't use that as a garden anymore. The chickens would eat everything in it, so we're gonna have to find us a new spot.
Good luck, buddy.
Is he trying to get Betty over there? Hi. Always loved hydrangeas, and last year we got some bare roots and we planted them, so we've got 3 or 4. They are starting to get new growth on them, which makes me really excited. So like I said, I don't know if I've told you all before, but I really like flowers, and one of my goals is to have kind of a cottage garden with some perennial flowers that bloom all year. Which, like everything else, it's a pretty long process of getting that going, but you just kind of buy some new roots every year and just keep adding to it. So that's the goal. Here's a peony, or a peony. I think I've called it peony more often than I've called it peony, but anyways, we bought a lot of these bare root last year too, and we planted them kind of, hey, our fearless predator or protector, chill out there. So we've got some planted kind of in a row down through here. It's hard to see, but they're all through here. And so, like I said, hopefully that's the start of a little cottage garden area in the backyard that'll just be nice to enjoy. This is our fire pit area. Not that it's really anything to do with farming, but just a little place that our family likes to enjoy on cool nights or warm nights with some s'mores and a fire and friends around this big fire pit. And what's kind of cool about this fire pit is I just come out here one evening with the kids and just started burning in the grass right there, and then the very next day Dave was on his tractor and he started digging big rocks out of the ground, and he was like, what do you think about putting those rocks in a big circle and making a fire pit there? And I was like, well, I guess that would be pretty cool. So everybody really likes this fire pit, and it's funny because these rocks just came out of our land. We've just dug them out and we put them to good use. Right now they've got all those peach branches inside that he trimmed back. The peach trees are up here, so we enjoy it though. Here is one of my absolute favorite things about the property. All of the birds and the wildlife that we get here is just amazing. My kitchen window, ignore all this stuff, but my kitchen window is right here, and I just look out that kitchen window and watch the birds as I'm washing the dishes, and I watch the little squirrels come up here and just they climb up this pole and over here onto this bird feeder, and it's so fun. And they're so cute. I'll have to catch them on video coming out here and checking the bird feeder out one of these days here soon. I don't know if you all can see, I can't zoom in, but I've got a squirrel friend on my bird feeder. I finally caught him. There's one on the bird feeder and there's one on the ground. I don't know if you can see the one on the ground, but they crack me up coming up here and getting on my bird feeder like that. Just looks so pretty right now. These are some rows of Sharon. We've got another one planted in the back. We've got a couple rows of Sharon. Actually, we have 3 rows of Sharon and 1 crepe myrtle. These don't really get to going until more like late summer, and they have some really pretty blooms on them, but I love them. They've been here. She must have planted these. This swing is another thing that Dave got done for me this spring. We bought the swing in the fall, but we didn't have a stand for it, and so I really wanted a stand, and so he built the stand a few weekends ago. Of course, I didn't catch it, but I think it looks pretty, and we're gonna have the stain here in the next few days, so maybe we'll get to video us staining it. So it's gonna be a nice feature. I think I'm gonna try to plant some trailing, maybe some morning glories or nasturtium or something like that all around it, kind of let it grow up. We'll see. I guess I better get my dinner bell. It's kind of hard to see. It's really high up on this pole. Dave got me that dinner bell for Christmas. I told him that I needed one because every time he's out here working, I needed to let him know that dinner's done, and I have no way to call him because he doesn't ever take his cell phone anywhere. So I said, I need a dinner bell to let you know when dinner is done. He got me one and put it up on top of this pole. So the kids really enjoy coming out here and ringing it when the dinner is done. Look at that beautiful sunset. I tell my kids all the time, that's God's beautiful sunset or God's beautiful sunrise. And when we're driving down the road now, they say, that's God's beautiful sunset. It's the little things. Well, y'all, that completes our farm tour. We're just so happy that you all are here to share this journey with us, and we hope that you like and subscribe to our channel and follow along for all of these projects and just some more of our stories about living here and farming in Kentucky.